Mega-Podtastic.
Take them beans!
No, freaking starved. I didn't get to eat anything today. God. Gross. Freaking idiot.
Good morning, Mega-Podlings. I'm Crazy Joe.
And I'm Dave, and you might remember me from podcasts such as Mega-Podtastic, Mega-Podzilla, patent pending lawsuit, and Hey, Get Off My Zucchini.
That was a good podcast.
That was a good podcast. That was where we, people would go into supermarkets and then take zucchini from other people.
Did you get off the zucchini?
Did I? Well, that sounds inappropriate. We're a premiere episode of a family-friendly show.
Yes, anyway. Welcome. This is something I have teased for over a year. We had this idea over a year, and we just haven't had the chance to do it. This is a show we're calling...
I think it's the Lunchbox Bunch we're going to go with.
Lunchbox Bunch.
The Lunchbox Bunch. Because Joe and I, we both collect metal lunchboxes.
You've probably seen in some of our past videos where, I'll go to a flea market and I'll be like, I got to get the lunchboxes before Dave gets there. And then Dave will go to the other side of the flea market. And, yeah, it's like a free-for-all trying to get the lunchboxes.
Yeah, but the rule, the thing is with our collection, it's got to be metal. Because no plastic.
Right.
We don't like plastic. Because the metal has
You listen in Cinema Sickness?
No plastic.
No plastic.
No plastic. It's for him it would be digital format? So he doesn't like that. He wants the actual format. He wants physical media.
Yeah, it's
insulting to us.
Yeah, it's like you give me a plastic lunchbox. That's like me saying, "Here you go, Cinema Sickness. Here's a movie for the cloud for you. Put this in stick this in your cloud."
Yeah, we wouldn't like that. It's the same thing with us. Whoa, it's plastic. What am I going to do with that? Watch it not biodegrade or rust. That's what we're going to do.
I do have a couple of plastics, but we could do a whole video on the very few plastics that I have chosen.
Yeah, I think I have an Urkel. I have one plastic lunchbox because it was Urkel.
The only reason I have plastics is because plastic lunchboxes were the only lunchboxes they ever made for Star Trek The Next Generation. And as a Star Trek fan, I was like, all right, I'll go plastic for Star Trek.
Right, sure.
But today...
focusing on the beauty of metal lunchboxes. And
yes.
we have amassed quite a collection between... Joe has a collection and I have a collection. And we've said, well, why don't we share this collection with the world?
Right.
And do these little videos where we're going to focus on...
We're shooting at Dave's for a very specific reason. If you watch my videos, you know I have a cat named Jules.
And I hate cats.
Jules and Dave's nose do not get along. So
no cats.
So you're not like Alf. You don't. What if you were like Alf and we had an Alf lunchbox and the cat was in the lunchbox? Would you eat him?
No problem.
All right, there we go. So we're at Dave's. These are from Dave's collection. We'll have some from my collection in a future video, but
we figured we'd start with these. Well, why don't we give a brief little rundown if people don't know about metal lunchboxes?
Okay.
The whole kind of quick little short brief history of them. So the lunchboxes ran. The very first one was made in the 1930s. It had Mickey Mouse on it. It was very popular. Then between the 1950s and the mid 80s, these things were huge. Kids had them. It was a status symbol. You would go to school. Every year you would get a new metal lunchbox. It was a big deal. Whatever the most popular show or movie was out at the time, you wanted that lunchbox. So this was your status symbol. This was your popularity rating.
And it was a tough choice because whatever lunchbox you chose, that's what you were stuck with for the year.
Yeah,
you had to stare at this for a full year.
Yeah. When you were I want the Mr. Merlin lunchbox at the beginning of the year, you're like, I want Mr. Merlin lunchbox. And you get there and the kids are like, what's wrong with you?
That show got canceled after 13 episodes.
Yeah, you're sitting there in February with a Mr. Merlin lunchbox and kids are like, you suck. Because that's your lunchbox and you had to wait till the next year. So it was a very tough choice. Joe is correct on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they went until the year 1985. And the weird thing about this is that the last metal lunchbox ever produced was, for an R-rated movie, Sylvester Stallone's Rambo. Which was very weird because it's why make a metal lunchbox? Which we're going to do a whole episode on that. The whole backstory on that. But that was the last metal lunchbox produced. And it was because kids were whacking each other with these metal lunchboxes, and people decided, you know what, it's dangerous. We're going to start making them out of plastic. It was probably cheaper to produce them in plastic anyway. See what happens? See, that could have caused serious injury.
Deadly weapons.
Deadly weapons. A ding dong could have flipped out of your box. Yeah. I think one episode too, I want to do this. I'm going to do the lunch that I used to have from school, and I call it like the Devil Dog Challenge, because my mother would pack these lunches, and it would include a Nutter Butter sandwich, was peanut butter and marshmallow fluff, and a Devil Dog, potato chips, and a Sips lemonade juice box. So first of all, the Sips lemonade juice box was ridiculously sour lemonade. I don't know if you remember that. It was awful. And then
I don't know if I ever had the Sips
peanut
lemonade.
butter and marshmallow sandwich with the Devil Dog. The driest thing ever. By the time my lunch was, I want to see if I can get through a video without my mouth closing shut from the dryness.
There
So we're
you
going to
go.
do that. We're going to do a Devil Dog Challenge one week. So there's a lot of stuff to look forward to if people like these videos.
Yeah, if you're into lunchboxes, if you're not into lunchboxes,
Maybe
but
it's like porn for you. I don't know. Maybe you're like, hey, some people like girls, some like guys, some people like metal lunchboxes.
yeah,
Sure.
This is-
Whatever it is. We don't discriminate.
exactly.
It's like my last podcast, the zucchini one.
Yeah. Hold
Get
my
off my
zucchini.
zucchini.
Get off my zucchini.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So we decided to start the series off with doing some Marvel lunchboxes.
Because Captain Marvel's out right now,
Captain Marvel is out.
and Avengers Endgame is out in a month from now.
Yeah.
So
we figured we would highlight the 2 Marvel lunchboxes I have. They did make some other ones, some individual characters. There was an Incredible Hulk lunchbox, which do you have that?
I know I don't have the whole.
There was a few other Marvel lunchboxes. These ones I wanted to focus on today because these ones were all-encompassing kind of Marvel group thing where they included a lot of characters, which at the time was really cool because this one was made in 1976. So they're both made by the Aladdin Corporation,
Year I was born, by the way.
which is today is his birthday.
Today is my birthday. Yeah. So
nobody say happy birthday because by the time you see this video, his birthday's over and it's kind of famous. So don't say happy birthday to me because then it'll be like, well, it's coming up.
Yeah.
When I tell you, it's gonna be a surprise because maybe we'll do a birthday lunchbox.
Maybe. Oh. Maybe
We'll do
like
like a cake.
maybe on your birthday we'll do a video where I have a wrapped lunchbox as a gift for you and you don't know what it is and we open it up and you find out what your lunchbox
That sounds like
is.
an exciting episode.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the Mr. Merlin lunchbox I got for my birthday.
That's the trick with us and lunchboxes though, is like I don't know everything you have. You have a lot, I have a lot.
Yeah.
So whenever I buy you a lunchbox, I try to find a really obscure lunchbox.
Yeah, and we got some weird ones.
Yeah.
There are some weird ones kicking around. But today we're focusing on this. So
Yeah.
But this one here, this first one was made in 1976, and then this one, the Secret Wars one, was made during the popular, not so popular toy line, which we have.
It was pretty popular
Yes,
at the
it was
time.
pretty popular.
Yeah.
It wasn't as popular as the
DC
Superpowers.
superpowers were a little more popular, and since they were to scale, I know most kids I knew, the DC and the Marvel heroes interacted. It was like
Sure.
a
So as an example, I have the Iron
Yeah.
Man there from that toy line. So this was 1984 for the Secret
with
Wars
his famous Iron Man gun that
and
he was-
lenticular shield that he
Yes,
carried
you
around.
remember in the
because-
comics, he always had the gun and the shield.
Yeah, he would be like, "Hey, back off, mole man! Look at my lenticular shield." So that's what this lunchbox was kind of like in conjunction with this toy line coming
Right,
out.
right.
And but the thing that's cool about these is, especially the one from 1976, is that on it, you have on the front you've got your classics, you got Thor, you got Spider-Man, and down here you got Captain America, and then on the back, the newly purchased from Fox, 20th Century Fox, from the Disney Corporation, is the Fantastic Four. And then on the side, you got a Bruce Banner changing into the Hulk. And then over here, which is kind of cool because you got Daredevil, which there's a space between it. Does Daredevil have a space between his name, or is it all one word?
I think it's all one word.
See, on this, if you look, it's Daredevil.
Oh, that's
I don't know if
weird.
that's a mistake, but on the box, it's Daredevil, like it's 2 words. And Scarlet Witch, which is pretty cool, and Yellow Jacket. So these were like characters that were popular at the time. And then on the top, which is kind of hard to tell because the handle would always get in the way, but it also includes Vision.
And Yellow Jacket, we should point out, Yellow Jacket, that's Ant-Man. He went by Yellow Jacket for a while.
Because this
but
was when he was going by Yellow Jacket in the 70s.
But he was, that's who that is. That's Ant-Man.
And then you got Wasp, you got Vision, and you got Hawkeye. So I don't know if you can see it because the handle's in the way. And then on the bottom, Iron Man and Falcon. Now, a lot of these were... I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say?
I don't know, you were saying a lot of these were superheroes.
Superheroes.
A lot of them were superheroes.
No, they were popular at the time, so like that's why they're on the lunchbox at the time. Because like when you look at the Secret Wars one, they focus on different characters because it was whatever Marvel was pushing at the time, and that's why Yellow Jacket shows up on there instead of Ant-Man.
Right, right.
And then you have the thermos, which again, the lunchbox is kind of nasty on the inside. We don't discriminate too much. We try and get them in decent enough shape, but
yeah, if you buy a mint lunchbox, it's going to cost you
Yeah.
a lot of money. So we just try to find the best shape we can.
Yeah. So the thermos, Vision, you got Hulk and Spider-Man and Scarlet Witch, and Thor. So it's pretty cool. I think it's a very cool lunchbox, especially at the time. It's got some more obscure, lesser known superheroes. Like as a kid going to school, be like, oh, it's got Vision on it, and you're trying to explain to kids who Vision and Yellow Jacket is, because a lot of them are just like, I just know Spider-Man. So
Right, right.
but a very cool lunchbox. It's not chugging right now.
So then we got the Secret Wars over here. Now this is from 1984, and I should point out this one. It's always great if you can find them with a thermos. This one does not have a thermos, so we'll try to find a picture of the thermos, and if we can find a picture, we'll insert it right here. And if nothing was inserted right here, that means we didn't find a picture of the thermos. So,
But if it was, it would be inserted. Where's it going to go?
right there. I mean, it's done. We passed that.
That's where it was.
Yeah, it
So
was.
it's going
It was.
down.
Yeah, you missed it. Rewind. Anyway,
So,
so what we have here on the front, we've got Spider-Man, Captain America, and Iron Man, and that's Spider-Man, Captain America were on the front of this one too. But Thor was not that popular in the Secret Wars line. Did they even make a Thor
they did
figure?
not make a Thor figure.
That's a
There
little
was no Thor.
weird.
This one, it seems like they focused on the ones that they actually made figures for. Well, this
Right.
one, because there was the Mego toys out at this time, and a lot of these characters were made into Megos. Some of them.
And
not all of them.
on the back, we've got Captain America and Spider-Man in action fighting Doctor Doom and Dr. Octopus. The doctors. The doctors teamed up.
Yep.
On the top, there's a handle in the way, but we got Cap, Hulk, and Spider-Man. On this side, we have the Hulk, who I don't even think the Hulk had a Secret Wars figure.
No, he did not.
That's odd. I wonder why.
He was probably too big to produce.
Cap throwing a shield, and there's
Yeah.
Spider-Man. This is a very Spider-Man and Cap heavy.
It's very odd that they
lunchbox.
did not make the Hulk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everybody else on there has had a figure. Cap on the bottom, and then
Well, they even made figures for some more obscure characters, like Falcon had a figure,
Falcon had a figure,
And,
Daredevil.
and like Kang the Conqueror, and people like that had
Yeah.
figures. Baron Zemo. Like you'd think they would go with someone a little more popular, like the Hulk.
Yes,
or
yeah,
Thor.
yeah. I think it's because of the size difference. Maybe they didn't know how to handle that, and they were like all kind of the same body shape that they just used. But I do enjoy there's different companies that made lunchboxes, and Aladdin is probably one of the most popular ones. So they've been around since the 50s, making the first Hopalong Cassidy lunchbox. They do a nice job. They have the embossed kind of fronts. The graphics wrap all the way on the sides, and they're a little smaller in size than some of the other companies' lunchboxes, but I like them. I think they're probably my favorite of the corporations that make metal lunchboxes. So
Yeah,
I like the embossing. It's
They're
just
definitely the most prolific.
Yeah.
Another thing, we're showing you the sides of the lunchboxes, the back of the lunchboxes. Everything is different on every side. That's another reason these are so much more collectible than the plastic. The plastic is just, they're all the same with a sticker. That's it. It's a sticker that changes. That's it. And also, in recent years, there have been revivals of metal lunchboxes. Like in one of my previous videos, I showed one at Target. There was a Stranger Things lunchbox.
Yeah.
But they put the same image usually on both sides and nothing on the sides.
They're more
So-
like a novelty kind of collector's item and not so much an actual functioning lunchbox.
Right, right.
But there is some ones that, which we'll do a whole episode on that later. There was ones that got produced that were supposed to be used as lunchboxes for kids.
Really?
Like I have a Small Soldiers one that was put out not as a collector's item. It was on the shelves with all the kids' lunchboxes. Comes with a thermos. We're going to do an episode on that. And it was almost like, oh my gosh, here comes another metal lunchbox.
Right.
So they did pop up, but as far as the heyday of them, the last one was like 85, and occasionally you get the novelty ones like the Stranger Things ones, and I saw a very cool looking Star Wars lunchbox at Target the other day, which mocked the Topps trading cards. It had like a look at the top. It was cool looking. But again, it doesn't come with a thermos.
I know from the late '90s, early 2000s, I have a couple Buffy the Vampire Slayer lunchboxes, but like the Stranger Things, they're not all that exciting. It's one image on both sides and nothing.
Yeah, they're definitely cheaped out.
Right.
But yeah, these ones are the original, actual ones from the heyday. But we figured we would do the Marvel ones because Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
who's not on the lunchbox.
In
And
fact,
if she was,
she would be Miss Marvel at this time. In fact, I don't think she was created till '77,
so she wouldn't
even be on this lunchbox.
This one might be the what's her name, Rambeau,
Monica Rambeau, Photon, as she later became known as.
That was probably what was going on in '84 with her.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So she would have probably been featured on that one. But a lot of these characters are going to show up in Avengers Endgame, or they were in the last movie, so we figured it's a good time. There is no Thanos on here, though. No Thanos in the lunchbox, but he was also created after this one, right?
I think,
77, I think.
I think it was late '70s. Yeah,
and then so he could have been on this one, but he's not. So he did not make a toy yet.
So that's, I guess, that's it for these lunchboxes, right? We're going to do more of these, though.
Yeah. So if you like it, comment down below. And like we're just starting this off, so it's the first one. There might be some hiccups, some bumps. We're getting our
right
beak wet in the lunchroom. So hopefully this brings back some nostalgia for you. If there's any lunchboxes that you want us to review, you're like, hey, do you have blah 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 lunchbox? Can you do that one? We might have it. We have a lot of them. Like I said, there was almost 450 lunchboxes produced.
I think I did see a lot of requests that people want us to do the Jake and the Fat Man lunchbox and the Murder
Falcon
She
and the
Wrote.
Snowman lunchbox.
And Scarecrow, Mrs. King. So we'll get to all those. Mrs. Columbo.
Yeah.
We'll get to all those.
Oh, she's the sheriff. That's a good one.
Oh, she's the sheriff.
Can't that lunchbox. So, but hope you like this, and if not, we'll just go back to buying them and quietly storing them in our basement.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
Oh, man. We need to look at catchphrase for the lunchbox.
Do we?
Keep eating those ding-dongs.
I like that one.
Is that a good one? Keep on eating those ding-dongs.
Keep wearing those pajamas with the plastic feet. Keep wearing those pajamas. Tell everyone you meet. Keep wearing those pajamas with the back door flap. Keep wearing those pajamas. Don't open it, it's a trap. Oh no, it's a trap. Some people call them bitches, some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander adamas, but no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now we're having fun. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now the song is done.